In the gray drizzle of late February 1957, Philadelphia's Fox Chase neighborhood was a quiet stretch of row houses and wooded lots where secrets could hide in plain sight. On Susquehanna Road, where the asphalt gave way to a tangle of brambles and bare trees, a young man named Frederick Benoni's, a La Salle college student, was checking his muskrat traps. He'd been out here before, in this lonely patch of land, but something caught his eye that day. A cardboard box, discarded near a thicket, half hidden by the undergrowth. It was a J.C. Penney bassinet box, weathered but sturdy, and curiosity nudged him closer. Inside, wrapped in a faded plaid blanket, was the body of a small boy, nude and lifeless, his frail frame bruised and battered. Frederick froze, his breath catching the cold air, before he turned and ran for help. He didn't know it then, but he'd stumbled upon one of America's most enduring mysteries: the boy in the box. The police arrived quickly, their sirens cutting through the damp silence. The boy, no older than 6, was a pitiful sight. His head was shaved unevenly, clumps of dark hair still clinging to his pale skin, as if someone had hacked at it in haste. His fingernails were freshly trimmed, but his body told a grimmer story. Malnourished, with ribs pressing against thin skin and bruises marking his arms, legs, and face. Old scars dotted his small frame, one on his chin, another on his groin, a third on his ankle, hinting at surgeries long past. The coroner later ruled the cause of death as homicide by blunt force trauma, the blow severe enough to end a life so young. Near the box, investigators found a blue corduroy cap, a child's scarf, and a handkerchief with the letter G stitched into it, but none led anywhere. The blanket, recently laundered, and the box, once holding a bassinet sold at a local store, offered no fingerprints, no clear answers. The boy's face, printed on posters and plastered across Philadelphia, haunted the city. Detectives canvassed neighborhoods, checked missing children reports, and chased leads to orphanages, hospitals, and foster homes. Yet no one claimed him. No parent, no sibling, no neighbor came forward. The boy became America's unknown child, his case a wound that refused to heal. The police buried him in a potter's field, his small grave marked only by a simple stone, while the city whispered theories. Was he an orphan, abandoned by a system that failed him, a victim of a drifter passing through, or something closer, darker, hidden within a family's walls? Decades passed, and the case grew cold, but it never faded. Investigators, haunted by the boy's silent plea, kept digging. In 1998, they exhumed his body, extracting DNA from his teeth, hoping science would one day name him. Tips came and went. A psychic's vision of a foster home, a woman named Mary claiming in 2002 that her parents bought the boy from a trafficking ring and killed him after years of abuse. Her story, though chilling, crumbled under scrutiny, her mental health casting doubt. Still, the foster home lead lingered, tied to a nearby house where a bassinet box and similar blankets were found, though no evidence stuck. Then, in 2022, a breakthrough. Genetic genealogy, weaving through distant relatives' DNA, gave the boy a name, Joseph Augustus Zarelli, born January 13, 1953, to Augustus Gus Zarelli and Mary Elizabeth Betsy Abel, both deceased. He was 4 when he died, a child of a prominent Delaware County family, with living siblings who, for reasons unknown, never reported him missing. The police, tight-lipped out of respect for those siblings, said the case remained open, the killers still unnamed. Joseph's identity was a victory, but it raised new questions. Why was he never reported? Who could harm a child and leave him in a box, his existence erased? The Zarelli household, in the shadow of Philadelphia's affluence, held secrets. Gus and Betsy, married with other children, lived in a time when family shame was buried deep. In the 1950s, a child born out of wedlock or with special needs could be a scandal, especially for a prominent family. Joseph, perhaps, was such a child, his surgical scars hinting at medical needs, his malnourishment suggesting neglect. Maybe he was sent to live with a relative or a trusted friend, an informal arrangement to keep him out of sight. The crude haircut, the trimmed nails, pointed to someone trying to erase his identity, someone who knew him well enough to fear recognition. Imagine a small row house, its curtains drawn tight, Inside Joseph, barely 4, is a quiet child, his dark eyes watching a world that barely sees him. The woman caring for him, perhaps an aunt, a cousin, or even Betsy herself, grows frustrated. His needs, medical or otherwise, strain a household already stretched thin. One night, in a fit of rage or desperation, a hand strikes too hard, a fall too sudden. The boy lies still and panic sets in. The woman, or perhaps Gus, realizes the consequences. A missing child would draw questions, scrutiny, shame. So they decide to hide him, to make him vanish. They wrap him in a blanket from the house. One Betsy had laundered days before. The bassinet box, stored in the basement corner, becomes his coffin. They drive to Susquehanna Road, a place far enough to feel safe, but close enough to know well. The haircut, done in haste with kitchen scissors, is meant to disguise him. The body is left in the box, the cap and scarf discarded nearby, maybe dropped in their rush. They return home, silent, and life goes on. No one asks about Joseph. His siblings, too young or unaware, don't question his absence. The family's prominence shields him from suspicion, and the police, without a missing child report, have no trail to follow. But secrets have a way of surfacing. The handkerchief with a G might have been Gus's, a careless mistake. The foster home, only a mile away, could have been where Joseph was kept, a place tied to Zarelli's through friendship or kin. The police, even now, chase leads, offering $20,000 for answers. They know the killer might be dead, Gus, Betsy, or another long gone, but justice, even symbolic, drives them. Joseph's grave, now marked with his name, draws visitors who leave flowers, toys, a testament to a boy who was forgotten but never truly lost. In Fox Chase, the woods have grown thicker, the road busier, but the memory of the boy in the box lingers. Joseph Augustus Zarelli, once unknown, now has a name, a story pieced together from fragments. His life, brief and painful, ended in a cardboard box, but his legacy endures in the questions that remain. Who held him last? Who struck him? And why did a family, prominent and proud, let him vanish without a word? The truth, like the boy himself, lies just out of reach, buried in the silence of a city that never forgot.